All right, let's officially get going, guys. This webinar is titled How to Take Advantage of the DOW Plunge and Nail the Bottom for Explosive Profits. I am super excited about this topic, guys. Super excited. I'm going to show you how you can learn to stop worrying and love market corrections and realize some terrific buying opportunities are just right around the corner. Okay? So, if there's one thing I want you to understand, it's this, okay? Your system determines your success. So don't be fearful of market corrections. If you have the right system, market bottoms create explosive profit potential. Okay, you don't want to be at the mercy of the market. You got to learn how to take control and get things right. And realize that market bottoms are where the money is. So my promise to you today is this. Okay, my promise is you will learn the skills necessary to nail market bottoms with precision so that you'll never miss another explosive bottom fishing opportunity ever again. All right, so hopefully everybody's okay with that. And just real quick, I'll introduce myself. That's me. Yep, the one on the left, I suppose, right? My name, once again, is Steve Chappell, and this is a topic I'm hugely passionate about. Okay, so you're in the right spot for sure. Of course, that's my beautiful wife next to me, Heidi. And so listen up. You know, I'm confident that everything I'm going to show you today will help you because I've seen it. It helps a ton of other people. Okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything or give you a bunch of baloney. You know, there will be times where things I'm going to show you or talk about, you know, it might be a little hard to hear, but you've got to know it. And so I'm going to give you the insight into what you need to know to nail market bottoms with precision. You guys have been great so far in using the chat box. So there's going to be several times throughout the webinar where I'm going to ask you questions and we'll interact back and forth. Now listen, there is a huge, and I do mean huge, number of people on the webcast today. So if I miss you, you know, there's just a lot coming in. But please do utilize the chat box because it's going to make it a lot of fun and more interactive, and it's going to be good for you to put some of these responses out there for yourselves, okay? So if you're good with that, just type yes in the chat box for me and make sure that we're all on the same page. Excellent. Diane is doubly sure. I like that. And that works. See, I even caught that one. It went by quick, but all right, good. Great. So let's get rolling, okay? Now, one of the things that I want to mention is, you know, I've talked to a lot of people. I've been working in this field for more than 16 years, and I've gone to a lot of seminars and events and financial gatherings across the globe. And a lot of times the people that I meet, they're frustrated. You know, you can see it in their eyes in how they carry themselves, right? And they're frustrated because they missed out on tremendous, hopefully there's no Patriots fans out there. They're frustrated because they missed out on tremendous buying opportunities in the past. And sometimes, you know, the very recent past, right? Like even this year. But they just can't figure out the recipe to get things right and make the most out of each and every opportunity. And so they feel like they've missed out on something really significant, right? Money that could have been set aside for retirement. So they're worried about retirement and the real possibility of getting another job, right? So that they can live more comfortably through their retirement. And so, listen, today I want to change all that. I want to change it for good. I want to eliminate the frustration so that you'll be confident when opportunities arise again in the future. And there may be quite a few of them here in the very near future. And so I want you to be confident, take advantage of these opportunities when they present themselves, and I want you to be able to have confidence in knowing that you're doing it right, okay? That you're going to, you know, confidence in knowing you're not only going to take advantage of the future opportunities as they present themselves, but really maximize them. Make the most of each and every single market bottom that you come across in the future, okay? And so that way, you're going to be able to live out your retirement dreams on your own terms and just the way you've always wanted to do it, right? You'll be able to provide for your family, not have to worry about having enough money to do the things that really make you happy, what makes your family happy. And so our journey, We're going to take a journey today, my friends, and it all begins with three things that we're going to cover. The first is the system, the exact system I use to make precision or precise market entries at market bottoms. Second, and also very important, is the three key attributes to pick the best stocks at the right time. Okay? And 5 trading tactics that make you money. So hopefully everybody's fired up about that. Everybody likes to make money. So, all right, let's go ahead. So just to get the juices flowing, get you thinking here a little bit, what's the hardest part in nailing a market bottom for you? Let me ask you again, what's the hardest part in nailing a market bottom for you? I'll give you about 30 seconds here. I'm going to take a sip of drink and let you get some of those responses in there. All right, I think I've got a few coming in now. Yeah, oh boy, they're coming in fast. I'm going to have to let it settle down. Not recognizing the bottom. The unknown. Is it the bottom? Is it the real bottom? Knowing if it's a bottom. Negative news. Getting in early enough. Being patient. How to pinpoint the bottom. Pinpoint's a great word, David. Pinpoint is a great word. When will it stop? Yeah, it feels that way sometimes, David, right? When will it stop? Yeah. Easy with VectorVest. Waleed, you're a pro, man. All right, let's see. Is it going to go back up? Are we late already? Up and down? Yeah, so these are great responses. And listen, I like I said, I missed at least a couple hundred. Possibly many more than that. They were flying by furiously. And I know not all of you are even typing in. But, you know, if I had to take all that and summarize it, okay? If I had to take all that and summarize it, it's knowing when rock bottom is coming into play, right? And I guess from there, we really need to know 3 things. We need to know when to buy with precision, right? What to buy and when to sell them, because that's where the money is, right? That's the final piece and where the money is. So, all right, let's talk about it. Let's get in here and talk about it, okay? So the first thing you need to understand, guys, is that it requires a paradigm shift, all right? And so what I'm saying here is it requires a new way of thinking to really pinpoint a market bottom and know precisely the right kinds of stocks to buy in order to really make this work. So the first thing you need to realize is a shift from buying. We need to go from buying safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price, right? Good quality stocks with strong earnings per share, strong fundamentals. These are exactly the kind of stocks you want to own when the bull market is mature, because these kinds of stocks thrive, right? Particularly in the macro trends of the bull markets. So we need to transition, though, away from that type of thinking into a new way of thought. And what we really want to look for are stocks that have explosive upside potential, reasonably good stocks that have been beaten silly. I mean, creamed, okay, during the prior market correction, because that's what gives them tremendous upside potential over the very short term, even longer if they're reasonably good stocks. And so we're looking for stocks that can produce double-digit, heck, sometimes triple-digit gains in just days to weeks, not months or years, okay? Some of these stocks can climb 100, 200, 300% or more in months to years, given a good, strong market. So the inevitable question becomes, you know, Steve, sounds great, but, you know, how can I find them, right? So a traditional approach that most technicians, you know, technical analysts might use is price reversal patterns and stochastics, you know, just like we have here. And so, you know, here where I put the arrow, here's a situation where the market was coming down, 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 stopped going down, started going up again, right? And, you know, if you're pretty good with price patterns, you actually had left of the arrow, a couple of bars, a bullish harami, with an attempt on the following day to get confirmation, okay, right here, but it failed to because it didn't hold up beyond the midpoint of the red. finally confirmed right where the arrow is, and it works reasonably well, right? We had an oversold stochastics. Stochastics is a very popular indicator. 14.3 you'll see on the slide is the setting here. You know, it's still considered to this day probably the most popular setting for stochastics, and that works pretty good. I mean, not only did you get a good entry there, you also get a good entry here, and, you know, away it goes, right? And so it works pretty well. You know, honestly, it does, particularly in bull market environments. But in market corrections, that same system can leave you scratching your head wondering what went wrong. It's the same setup I always use. It's the same look-back period I always use. It's the same types of candle information that I always use. So it kind of leaves you scratching your head, right? Here's the problem. Problem one is that your timing is actually off. On the stock level, things look great. Your setup was good, your trigger was good, even execution was flawless, okay? But something was still missing. So what could it be? Any guesses? You start thinking things like, well, maybe I'm just not using the right indicator, right? Or the right look back period. Maybe I need to shorten it up or lengthen it out. And so inevitably what that leads to is maybe there is a better indicator out there that'll produce a far better result, but we get inundated by them, right? The choices are many and they're confusing in the end. So ultimately you just feel overwhelmed and like you can't do it for yourself, right? You get buried with indicators and it can leave you confused. And also, guys, you know, honestly, I'm just going to level with you. It can also leave you incorrect if you're not careful. And so what we typically then end up thinking about or doing is relying on the experts, right? That's problem number 3. So you end up subscribing to a newsletter or leaning on the experts on TV because they know something that I don't, right? They must. The underlying problem here, of course, is not necessarily that the advice is bad. The advice might be right on the nose at that given time. But something changed. The dynamic changed. The timing was off somewhere before you actually hit the buy button, you know, on the computer. Or even knew that there was a problem, right? And so the end result is you buy stocks, you end up holding on to bad trades too long, right? Thinking, I can't be wrong, and it's going to come back. Sort of the worst one of them all. And so you need to put yourself in a position where you don't need to lean on anyone else. You don't need to seek counsel from someone who might have the magic bullet, okay, every time you need it. So the real problem is, guys, here's the real problem. I'm going to cut right to the chase, okay? The real problem isn't that you're doing things wrong per se, okay? The real problem is that your system is incomplete. So what do you say we try and put an end to this once and for all? Let's see if we can put an end to that and get a complete system. Yes, this is being recorded, Ron, okay? And so let's talk about the fix, guys. Let's talk about the fix. Let's spend the rest of this webinar, okay, the rest of this webinar training event working on what is necessary to get things fixed for you, each and every one of you. Does that sound okay with you? If that sounds okay, just type okay in the chat box if you don't mind. All right, awesome. Good to see that you are still fired up. I could tell just by how fast that thing spins. You guys are on fire. So that's wonderful because I'm on fire too, and that can only mean good things for you. All right, so let's get rolling. Here's the rub, guys. Here's the final answer, okay? If you don't get anything else from this webinar, understand this. Understand that your system determines your success, and it needs to be complete. Okay? Now, the system does not need to be complicated in order to be definitive or complete. To have reliable outcomes, it can and should be as easy as 1, 2, 3. Okay? But the main thing I want you to take away from today's webinar is that you need a system, a reliable system at that, to tell you when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. So let's draw it out together. Okay? There are 3 main ingredients to get things right. And so we're going to talk about them right now. We're going to talk about the 3 main components. When to buy, we're going to need a reliable way for that, to know when to buy. We're going to need a reliable way to know what to buy, not just for ordinary gains, but for better gains than ordinary, right? And we're going to need to know when to sell. Ultimately, as I said earlier, that's where the money is. And so when we think about what we really mean here, when we think about what we really want in terms of when to buy, we don't want just, any old signal. We want precise market entries. We want precise market entries. That's what we're after. And then on the what to buy side, we want stocks with explosive upside potential. Notice, explosive is the key word there, okay? And when to sell, we want to be able to cut our losers quickly and let our winners run. All right, so this is what we need. And let's break this down and look at this model in another way, okay? But we're going to be doing everything based off this model. But let's look at it another way. Let's talk about when to buy precise market entries, okay? So that's what we really want, is the precise market entries. Timing, as it says here, timing is everything, okay? It's the single most important factor in determining your success in the future. It really is. It truly is. We want, basically we want to be able to buy when blood is in the streets, when it feels like what you really should be doing is stuffing money under your mattress. Those are the kind of emotions that are created at market bottoms, okay? And so there's a reason that we feel this way, and so we're going to need a precise, systematic way to do it. And when I say buy when blood is in the streets, what I mean by that is this, okay? Let's think about the most recent market correction that still may be underway, but at least for the moment has hit a temporary bottom, right? What I mean by it is getting in the day that the market blasts off, guys. Okay, getting in the day that the market blasts off. So could be the next day after the low, right? Sometimes a few days off the bottom before the market really starts to explode, but usually it blasts off right away. Okay, markets tend to be very sharp bottoms. So why do I want that, Steve? I'm so glad you asked. So because that's where the money is. Okay, the explosive double, triple digit gainers, the stocks that can yield you double-digit returns in days, not weeks or months, triple-digit returns in months, sometimes not years, right? This is how we do it, okay? And so when we can find stocks that are hitting bottom, when the market is hitting rock bottom, okay, that's where the money is. So how do we do it? Well, in order to do this, guys, you've probably tried a few things on your own in the past, okay? Only to become frustrated because you get in what inevitably turns out to be too early, right? You tried to get right in at the bottom and everything looked perfect, only to find out the market turns against you right away and you know the story. Here you had a beautiful bullish harami with some confirmation and again an oversold stochastic, so what went wrong, right? You even got follow through. And in a big way on the following day, but the market still did a head fake, which leads us to a frustration of another sort, trying something different, something like a resistance breakout. You can see price here breaking out from the prior swing high, okay? And so now I'm waiting for even more confirmation that the market is actually turned up, and congratulations, right? We missed the explosive part of the rally. And of course, the rally starts to peter out fairly quickly, and that just pours more salt in the wound that's already been established, right? And so then you look back and see how much opportunity was missed coming up off that bottom before you got in, and you say, well, I should have bought way back down here at the low, right? So, yeah. But what it ultimately leads to, guys, and we're going to fix this here in a sec, is frustration, big time frustration, right? We're left feeling like we're locked into the roller coaster, we're never getting out, and we're at the mercy of the markets. And so here's the deal. You know the story here. There's a missing piece. There's a missing piece. The missing piece is that the market cannot be timed with absolute precision by just simply price and volume indicators alone. It can't. Not with the kind of precision you're going to see here in a little bit, okay? There's still a missing piece, and you probably didn't realize that, or many of you didn't, but certainly people that aren't familiar with me or who I work for aren't familiar with it. And so, do you mind if I show you a tool that I use that is that okay with you? Just type yes if that's okay with you in the chat box. Okay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to focus on this time in the market, guys. Quite frankly, it's one of the best calls we've ever made. And on the other hand, we've made 33 of these calls since 1999. So, it's not a one and done situation, but it's one that's going to resonate well with everyone. So I'm going to focus in on March, realizing that the things that I'm going to show you here have occurred 33 times since 1999, and also will occur in the future. Usually about a couple times or so a year on average, okay? And in real turbulent years, more frequently, less turbulent years, less frequently kind of deal. But let's go ahead and take a look. So I'm going to move over into VectorVest. Okay, this is a little tool I use called VectorVest. And what I want to do is just quickly illustrate where that quote from the newsletter, when it was said, and really build up around that time and show you how we do things. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go to our graphs. Okay, and on our graph here, what you're looking at right now is called a market timing graph. Okay, and so what we do is this candlestick chart that you see on the top portion, that represents the arithmetic average price of over 7,600 stocks that we track. So it's a lot like looking at the Dow, the S&P, or the NASDAQ, except it eliminates some of that noise of the market capitalization weighting and all this other shenanigans, and it really boils it down to what is the market really doing, okay? So on days where you see the Dow is up, the NASDAQ's down, things like that, this is a good solution for those kinds of situations. What's the market really doing, okay? And so I'm going to dial back in when that excerpt from the essay was written, but I wanted to set the stage. You can see over to the left of where I'm zooming in, this was the 08-09 debacle, right? Which ultimately, well, mostly 08, that was the big down leg, right? But anyway, ultimately culminated right down here. And guys, I'm going to put a line on here. That essay excerpt that I just showed you was written right here. So I'm going to zoom in again. Okay? It was written right before the bottom actually came into play. And so remember this picture visually. And what I'm going to do is walk you through the newsletter here really quick. I'm going to go to the top. I'm going to go to what we call the VectorVest views. This is our newsletter. And it's got a complete archive of everything that we've ever said all the way back to 1996, every single day. Okay, so that's a track record. Now, if I go back to March the 6th of 2009, I'm going to start off in the overview section here at the top. And it says here that the market is itching to rally. While stock prices have been going down since the market broke out of the wicked wedge on February 10th, I've been watching a little sideshow. And I'm not going to get into the sideshow here. We're going to get into the sideshow aspect of it a little bit later. But, one of the things that is interesting here is people are starting to rationalize economic news and starting to buy the dips. And if I go then to the strategy section, okay, here's what we said on that day. Prudent investors, ultimately here, prudent investors should not buy stocks at this time. Aggressive investors and traders should play the market to the downside, but be alert for an explosive rebound. Okay, so I'm going to show you the words first, then we're going to show you the graphics behind it. Okay, so this is the words, then we're going to get to the graphics. But this is written in stone. This is exactly what we said back in that time. Be alert for an explosive rebound. Okay, and here's the little quote that I picked up. If history repeats itself, we will soon have a bear market rally which will peter out, and then the bulls will stampede again. Until then, we need to go with the flow. If I move forward to the 9th and just cover it here really quickly, For those of you who are riding the wave, we're playing the downside of the market with the 5 highest average volume contra ETFs. In other words, we've been for months now making money with contra ETFs to the downside. Okay, but we're going to exit those positions and go long with one of these strategies should an explosive rally occur. And guys, listen, this is the part you don't want to miss. Okay, just remember some of these names if some of you have sort of the photographic memory. But Blyer's bottom feeders, bottoms up, jailbreak. Okay, now look, if I go back over to the graphic, I'm going to come over here to timing. Okay, and market timing graph. Let me slide back to where I was here really quick. That looks familiar. So that was written here on the 6th, all the way up, and then lo and behold, on March the 10th, guys, you see this tall green candle? We talked about the explosion, the explosive day, right? So we're already searching for a bottom. Here's the explosive day, which occurred on March the 10th. So, sorry, one of my guys told me you were having a little problem with mic interference, so hopefully I've quelled that. But I'm going to go back to the newsletter here really quick and move forward to March the 10th, okay? That was the day of the explosion, right? It says here, news that Citigroup has been profitable the first 2 months of 2009 sparked a major rally on Wall Street today, driving stock prices sharply higher. Presuming that the rally continues tomorrow, prudent investors may go bargain hunting and bottom fishing. Aggressive investors should play the market to the upside. Now, here's the thing, guys. This is not guesswork. You know, listen, we got some pretty sharp people around here, but this is not guesswork. This is an exact science that we use and employ to write this kind of verbiage. And if I go back to the graphic, there are indicators on here that we will cover in detail later, but the MTI, the buy to sell ratio, which looks at buy recommendations versus sell recommendations in our database. We have an RT indicator for the short-term trend of the market. We have the MTI for the underlying trend. So we look at short-term, longer underlying trends and sort of the health across the market, all at the same time. And these indicators help us write these types of commentaries, okay? And we even give guidance on what to buy. And so if you remember some of those names from the essay, if I go to Unisearch here really quick, we have a whole folder full of bottom fishing searches. And listen, this is the part that's going to be really fun for some of you, okay? I'm going to start off with just blue chip bargains, okay? And so timing is critical, and then the kinds of stocks that you get. This is going to be kind of the next piece. We have searches that you're going to run at these bottoms to yield incredible profit. We're going to come back to that, actually, because that's in a later segment. But if I go back to the timing graph here just real quick, let's think about the fact that this essay, and we got you long here, what kind of impact could that have for you if we're able to do that bottom in, bottom out, year in, year out? What kind of an impact can that have for you? Just real quick. Anybody got any thoughts on that? What kind of an impact? Yeah, I love it, Donald. About $50 signs. Wow. Okay, awesome, tremendous. Yeah, perfect. So there is a systematic way in which we do it, okay? And if I'm not careful, I'm going to give away some of the secrets. We'll get to that later, okay? So let me get back into my PowerPoint here really quick, guys. All right, so that was a series of essays that was written around that time, and that's the kind of precision that you really want to deal with, okay? Now, I'm just going to share with you a quick story, and that is in May of this very same year. I was at anybody ever heard of the Money Show? It's a tremendous financial forum. And yeah, there's lots of people out. And you know, it's where, you know, a lot of the brokers are there and a lot of things having to do with money, but a lot of financial stock market kind of stuff there as well. And some of our subscribers came by our booth, and they said, boy, I tell you, 3 of them retired off of some of the returns that you're going to see here in a little bit when producing signals that good. Okay, a guy up in Philadelphia and a couple of his buddies, one gal from Phoenix who was a nurse, and Richard was the guy up in Philadelphia. But anyway, this is real stuff. Okay, and so let's get to it here a little bit more crystal clear. That's not the only time we've done it. We've been nailing market bottoms with precision for more than 25 years, guys. More than 25 years. Here's the three most recent. Okay, here's the three most recent. Look at the price explosions on the stock market. Look at the price. This represents the global market movement. Okay, this market timing graph. I covered it earlier, but in case you forgot, this represents the Dow, the S&P, the Russell, all of it. Okay, and look at the explosions after the arrows. Okay, and so. Is anybody here? Yeah, Diane, you said you're in the Jockey Club. I mean, on that last green arrow over there on the right-hand side of your screen, Diane was in the room, I think, even. When we went long one day off the pivot low, okay, with some bottom fishing candidates. And she says, yes, good, thanks, Diane. But that's reassuring. I'm glad you were really there. There's so many people in that room, too, it's hard to remember. But so... why aren't some of these other little bumps and wiggles bottoms, right? Well, we'll get to that a little bit later on. But for now, just realize that we've been nailing market bottoms for 25 years with precision like nobody's business, okay? And so when you get it right, guys, when we get this right, explosive gains follow and follow quickly. Even if you've just trade good old stocks that you're familiar with like Mr. Old Apple, okay? This would have been your likely price entry given a little bit of slippage on Apple when you do things right. Precisely where the arrow is, okay? And so how would precision market timing change things for you guys? How would precision market timing change things for you? Would that change things around a little bit, do you think? Would that change things around a little bit, do you think? Martin says, are we late to the party? Martin, unfortunately, I have to say yes at this stage for the moment. The best buying opportunity. Me and my buddy Ray over here, we were so hoping, honestly, that the market was going to bottom during the, right now as we speak, so that we could really just tie that bow on it. But we're a few days up off the most recent low. We may go lower. And that's something that we've seen before, okay? But certainly, I mean, on my little bottom fishing campaign that I did here recently, I'm up over 10%, okay, in just the last 6 days. All right, so here we go, guys. Strategic shift number one is going from uncertainty and incomplete. I could very easily put incomplete there to complete and precise market entries. We've got the indicators, and we've been in the business, and we got the know-how, and we've done it for 25 years in a row. We'll do it for 25 more, okay? And so let's talk about the what to buy. That's the second part of the system, and this one's going to be really fun. You guys are going to love it. All right, so you're going to be licking your chops after this one, I guarantee. So let's talk about what to buy, okay? So let me give you some criteria you should think about in order to pick your stocks to buy, okay? But first, we're going to really cover what I mean by explosive, okay? We're going to look at the traditional approach that lots of people employ, and then we're going to look at a better way to do it. Sound fair? All right, sound fair? All right, so let's do it. Let's shift, guys. Let's try to shift from ordinary returns to explosive gains, okay? So in simple terms, what I meant is we really want to buy stocks that produce double-digit or triple-digit gains in days to weeks, not years, okay? So what do we want? Yeah, that's what we want, right? And so the traditional approach, one might have heard before, I would assume, is only buy something that you'd be perfectly happy to hold on to if the market shut down for 10 years. Well, there's a comforting thought, right? But I can't say that the guidance is bad, right? And so good stocks, guys, good stocks. Have we heard of Amazon, Facebook, Home Depot, Disney, Visa, Google, Apple, Gilead Sciences? Have we heard of these stocks, guys? these kind of stocks off a market bottom, this is a 3-month campaign. You can see at the top there's a set of dates here, 2/12 to 5/12, 2016. Those kind of stocks produced a reasonably good gain given 3-month period, right? 9.6%, 39% annualized. That's not too shabby, right? So let's put some dollars and cents to this. Let's say you took a portion of your money, say 20 grand. Now, there's a couple of key words. Let's just say you took a portion, okay? Let's say you just took a portion of your money and say 20 grand, and you just made $1,936 in 3 months. Not too bad, as long as you hit the sell button and got, cut them loose, right? All right. You did pretty well, right? But some of you're saying, well, I kind of fell out of the gate because even with just a portion of my money, I want to crush it, right? I know that's the way some of you feel because I'm with you. I'm one of you. I feel like a failure with 9% coming off a market bottom, realizing the market actually did a little bit better than that. Just the average market return, okay? Let's see. Bridget says, yeah, that's not much dough. I agree with you, Bridget. I'm with you. So we're not satisfied with that, right? How do we find the big winners? Aha. How do we find the big winners? So how do I do it? How do I find the really big winners, the double, triple-digit gainers, the potential 10-baggers? Anybody know what a 10-bagger is? That'll tell me you've been around the block a little while. Anybody know what a 10-bagger is? Who knows what a 10-bagger is? Nobody? Ah, Barry does. That's right, Barry. Same with James. All right, now a bunch of you got it. All right, I just had to coax you a little bit. That's good. Make sure you're still awake out there. The numbers keep going up on the attendance, so it's wonderful. Yeah, it's 1,000%, right? Good, 10 times, 10x, right? 10 times. So how do we find these big ones? All right, let's get to it. What you need, guys, are powerful searches, okay? Powerful searches are the solution. Not stochastic searches. That's not what I mean. Not RSI. Not, those can give you some good quick gain, quick point, 2-point gainers, things like that, okay? But we need searches that are more complete. Remember, we talked about having a complete system, right? So we need complete searches that take fundamentals into account a little bit as well, okay? And that accurately look for the stocks that have actually been creamed, the ones that have really been beaten down the most that are still decent stocks, okay? And so when we get it right, if you guys bear with me here, I'm going to actually show you this in my tool here in just a second. This is a bottom fishing strategy, and one of the best we've got. Not the best, but one of the best. It's called Bottom Fishing in Rising Industries, for those that like to take industries into account. And these are not your household names for many of you, okay? But you got HLX, ETE, WG, okay? SEMG, HOS, a bunch of stocks here. Bristow, BRS. So if you look at the return, look at their return, look at the bottom line. Look at the average return here. This is the same 3-month block. It's the same 3-month slice in time as the prior example I showed with your Amazons, your Facebook, okay? FANG stocks, right? Ordinary stocks, okay? I hate to say ordinary because those are tremendously well-run companies, right? But you just kind of get market performance a lot of times with them, right? And so here you're doing 89% in 3 months. You nearly doubled your money. So if we took the same $20,000, even if it's just a portion, even if you still go out and buy some FANG stocks, okay, but you take a portion of your money, you sink it into these stocks, instead of $1,600, you make $17,000 over the same period of time in just 3 months. And it gets even better, guys, because this is with no management or anything like that. And I'm going to show you something that's going to absolutely knock you to the floor here in a little while, okay? But, these are the kind of stocks that we want you to go out. There's plenty of liquidity. All of the scans that we have, there's plenty of liquidity, okay? At least a minimum of 100,000 shares on average, but usually far more than that, okay? So when we get it right, for those of you that are more visual, we're talking about still getting in when you're seeing some of these patterns and things and increasing volume and things that you like to see. We're still doing that piece, right? And we're going to get some stocks, though, that absolutely shoot up like a rocket. This stock here, HOS, is up 94% in 3 weeks. It went from 6 to actually north of 94%. It went to north of or right at $13 at the peak there, 6 to 13. Okay. And so you need powerful searches. So let me go back over to VectorVest here really quick, guys. That's okay. I'm going to go back to my tool here real fast because I want to show you I'm going to make some very important points here about why precision is absolutely so very vitally important. Okay. So here again, we want precise entry. We already covered that. Now we want explosive stocks. And so when this market runs right out of the gate like it does here and like it does so many more times in the future, okay, we want to take advantage of that in the best way possible. And so when I go to Unisearch, okay, here's where I picked out blue chip bargains. Some of you guys, you still want to kind of play with the safer stocks, and that's fine. I'm going to show you another search that's even better here in a second, but blue chip bargains, okay? So I'm going to run it as the 9th because we would have gone long the 10th, okay? And so here you go. Here's Aflac, Cliff Natural, Ansys, BlackBerry, Oniak, General Dynamics, FLIR Systems. You've heard of these stocks, yeah? Many of you have, okay? But if we quick test them, watch this, guys. I'm just going to do about a 3-month test here to start, okay? We're going to look at what would have happened if I know what Steve and so many other people do know, okay? And what would have happened had I employed the tactic off one of the best bottoms. Actually, it was a bottom of a lifetime, maybe. You have to go back some 80, 90 years to find a better bottom. But if you take that all into account, look at this, guys. So in 3 months, this basket again up 84% with blue chips. With blue chips, you could have. Now watch this. What if I bring that back and just do a couple of weeks? Let's say, I'll tell you what. Let's close out end of March. So March 9th to end of March. 24% in less than a month. Now watch this. We said precision entries are key. What happens if I'm not sharp enough to take advantage of the blast off and I wait a week? Let's say I wait a week and I only get in a week off the bottom. That 24% went to what? The 24% went to what? Somebody type it in the chat box because I want to know you're paying attention. I want to know you just saw what happened there because that was so incredibly important. The 24% went to 8. It went down by a factor of 3. It went down by a factor of 3, and you were only 1 week late to the party. Market timing, I said earlier, is the most important. It's the most critical piece, okay? But then you still need to have the explosive stock. So let's do this right again. Let's go back to March the 9th. Back. Get to like a 3-month performance that more of you will be comfortable with, okay? There's your 79, 80% again. Okay, now let's take another search that we have. We affectionately call this one the mother of all bottom fishing searches. Hey, wasn't it Citigroup that announced that they turned a profit in the first quarter of the year? You remember that text? They happen to be one of the stocks in one of the best bottom fishing search we have, year in, year out, day in, day out. Okay, and so if I run this, guys, that same 3-month period, March, April, May. I guess I didn't even complete May because I stopped in. Complete the 3rd month here. These are up 371%, guys. 371%. Annualize that number, right? The market was up. The S&P was up 37. These stocks are up 371. Okay. Now listen, that was coming off the back of the financial crisis, and you know the story. Okay. Now those times will come again at some point in the future, right? And so the good news is, if you stick with me, I'm going to show you how to take advantage of that. And I'm also going to show you how you can still get double-digit returns on just about any old bottom that comes, the 33 that have occurred since 1999, for example. Okay. Now, look, if we miss this one by a week or two, let's go 2 weeks. Let's say we miss this one by 2 weeks. It drops down to 144%. We went from 370 to 144. So you tell me, is knowing the right stocks to buy and is knowing precisely the key word, time to buy, is it important? Is it important? Anybody think it's important? I'm not seeing nearly enough responses in the chat box. There they come. All right, great. All right, so let's get, yeah, Martin says, wow. Yeah, right, exactly. Exclamation, heck, there you go. All right, all right. And so, listen, guys, so if I come over here just a little bit, I do want to point out some critical things. VectorVest analyzes stocks like nobody's business. And so when we say these are the stocks to buy, we've got some critical factors that we look at that you're going to learn a lot more about. Relative value, which is the upside potential. Safety rating, which is whether the stocks are safe or risky. And the timing aspect. And the most important ingredient here, the most important was the timing. Look at, these numbers are on a 0 to 2 scale, and hopefully you can read it. But many of the stocks, the first 3 stocks there are 0.01. These stocks were bloody as heck. They got creamed, okay? And they have a tremendous amount of upside. If these numbers are 0 to 2, you're looking at a 142, a 134, a 134, a 133. So if I look at a chart and I go back to that same time frame, let me find it here. There she blows. Nope, that's 08. That's the prior one, and that one was good. That was another one we would have called, by the way. But here it is. We're talking about buying Century Aluminum right here on this date right there. Okay? Wow. All right, guys. I got to get back because we got more ground to cover. But if that doesn't blow your mind, I'm not sure what's going to do it. But I got more stuff, so it's coming. All right, so, oops, let me switch things over here, guys. When we talk about the next shift here, we're talking about how could that change things, guys, for you? How could it change things knowing precisely the right kinds of stocks to buy? How could that change things for you? Like, if Steve could sit right in your living room and show you by running a scan exactly the right stocks to buy at the right time, how would that change things for you? Yeah, significant, right? Changed my life very much. I'll be relaxing and rich, right? More leverage, more, they're going fast now. No more student loans or debt. Okay, perfect. Hey, listen, I love that one because you got lots of time, okay, to really make a mark here. Greatly. I could retire. Amazing. Big time. No more time to play. More time to play golf. There you go, Diane. We're gonna have to play golf sometime. All right. So the next shift here, guys. The next shift that we're making. Again, as I said earlier, one of my jobs today is to help you make a few great decisions. And so here's decision number 2. You can choose to continue buying ordinary stocks, or you can buy stocks that have explosive upside potential, okay? And that's where the money is, okay? All right, and so now we're going to get into the third piece of the triangle, right? We're going to get into the 5 trading tactics that make you money. So why are these tactics important? Well, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Okay, and what that amounts to a lot of times is you have no exit plan, right? You have no exit plan. I love this one. This is one of my favorite graphics. It's like jumping out of the airplane without a parachute, right? And so, which ultimately that leads to emotional trading, and I'm sure some of you can relate to this, right? The emotions get the best of us. It's like a snowball, right? We started out on the wrong foot. Now the emotions take over. And so what we end up doing is just flushing money down the drain. And so what I want to do is remove all that. Okay. And I'm going to give you, this is something that people can walk away from this webcast with many of these things here and get off on the foot on a better track. Okay. And so you want to do 5 to 10 stocks. You don't want to just go out there putting all your eggs in one basket. Okay. You want to control 5 to 10 stocks on each what I'd call campaign. So when you get in, like I was showing you 10 stocks in those tests, you want to control 5 to 10. We actually find 5 can have a higher potential reward, but anytime you up the reward, you take on a little additional risk. So whatever's comfortable for you, but 5 to 10 is kind of the sweet spot. All right. Never risk more than 1 to 2% of your total portfolio value in any single trade. And so in simple terms, if I'm trading $100,000, okay, total portfolio value, that's what I have at risk at any given time in the market. I shouldn't risk more than $1,000 in any single trade, 1 to 2,000. Okay. No matter how good your system, no matter how good you are, you will inevitably run into a situation where you get a string of things that don't work out as well as they should. And so this allows you to live through that and still see substantial reward on the back side of it, okay? Quickly, and that's important. And so don't buy more than 2 stocks per industry group. One of the quick tests you saw earlier actually was heavy on petroleum. And while it worked out really well in that example, okay, quite frankly, that's not what you want to do. And so I've got an example here in a bit where we take that out of the equation. But you don't want to get yourself where you're in more than 2 positions in the same industry, 2 petroleum or 2 chemical fertilizer or whatever's hot, right? But no more than 2 per group. You want to favor ratcheting or trailing stop losses, okay? And potentially, like a 10% trailing. These are things that you can find in most ordinary brokerages these days, right? Thinkorswim, Fidelity, whoever you use. So the final piece, and this is the interesting piece in terms of bottom fishing, it's not typically what you do in mature bull markets, but when you're at market bottoms, what you want to consider and what we're going to teach in an exact science is allow your portfolio to extinguish itself by not replacing stocks that hit your stop losses, at least with the bottom fishing stocks. Because once you get 1 to 2 weeks into a campaign, particularly 2, okay, the stocks are not low anymore because they're ready to explode. They're low because they're probably not going to go anywhere. See, they're low for a reason now. A lot of times these stocks that got creamed, it's mere profit taking. It's, because they have strong earnings. They have strong earnings growth. They just got creamed because everybody panicked and pulled the plug. All right. And so they take off like a bird when the market takes off. So that is a very valuable technique and one that we like to teach. And then what you do, once the rally matures, you're 2, 3, 4 weeks into the rally, that's when you go back to the safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price. Okay? You start working your way into that kind of a portfolio, and it'll pay handsome rewards for you. Handsome rewards. Okay? And so we also have a new stop loss that we developed here at VectorVest, and it is proprietary. Listen, there's outfits out there charging thousands of dollars in selling stop losses now, which I think, is kind of crazy. But in the reality, we said earlier, stops is where the money is. And so I'm going to show you a campaign here in a little bit where the stop loss that we would have used here on Caesars Entertainment would have knocked us out right here. Look at that entry and then that exit to follow, right? 47.72% gain. Bought Caesars on February 16th of 16 at around $6.15. Sold Caesars on 2/29/16 for $9.10. Even had a good little bit of volatility on this day here. Do you see that green bar in the middle? Didn't get knocked out. Isn't that interesting? Probably not your typical trailing stop, right? Because that took us almost down to the entry price at one point during that day. Very interesting. Here's another example, Sierra Wireless. Entry off the bottom, a close near the top, 48.48% gain, 216 to 415. Had to hold on to this one a little bit longer to maximize the run, but again, it illustrates the power of the system. When we put things into a portfolio, when we take the market timing you saw, when we take the stock selection strategies you saw, and when we put them into a portfolio and manage them with that kind of a stop loss, we're talking about, remember I showed tests from 212 to 512, which was 3 months? Here, you're going to be knocked out almost completely from your campaign, really in about a month. See this? You can see this date in the middle of March the 14th. Look at the portfolio equity curve. Look how it just skyrockets and then starts to go sideways to down. We've actually dropped. If you look just above the orange arrow, you'll see our holdings are down to 3. We've got another pending order to sell one of the 3. So we've already eliminated. I started with 5. Okay, so we've already eliminated a bunch of stocks. Actually, I started with 10. And so we've already eliminated a 6, and we're getting ready to eliminate, or eliminated 7. We're getting ready to eliminate an 8th. So, wow, 30%, guys, in a month, fully managed from open to from beginning to end. Okay, and this thing just kind of goes sideways from here a little bit. So I didn't want to just protract that out and make you look at that, because it doesn't have, it doesn't make sense to do that. But what you're going to start doing here as we're eliminating all those bottom fishers is moving towards your more traditional safe stocks rising in price, right? And that's where the money is now. So look at the gain, guys. That's 353% annualized with a 4% drawdown. Do you think that the tactics that we talked about, buying baskets of 5 to 10 stocks, no more than 2 per industry, 1 to 2% total risk in any single position, and using the right stop loss, do you think that those trading tactics that I can show you will improve your performance? Awesome, here they come. That's wonderful. All right, and so strategic shift number 3, guys. Yeah, they're absolutely. I love 2 people back to back. Absolutely, that's awesome. All right. Okay, so Michael asked, what is drawdown? So drawdown is here comes a bunch of answers to you. So drawdown is the highest peak in the equity curve to the valley. So if I just look at the slide that's on your screen now, and you look at the green graphic, okay, that drawdown is actually from the peak to where the current time is right now, because that's the biggest move downward from a peak, right? If you look back at the, let me go back to the prior slide. Let's solidify the learning here. So as I'm controlling these equities, we get a little wiggle here, okay? We get a little wiggle right here, but that's not 3%, right? Then that peak is taken out, so that's not your biggest draw. Your biggest draw is right back here, towards the end, and that's usually where it should be if things go right and things go well. It should be towards the end, okay? All right, so let's go back into things, guys. So strategic shift number 3 is going to be not knowing when to sell or knowing precisely when to sell, to lock in the profits and walk away with the cash flow. So again, I mean, I said it earlier, one of my jobs today is to help you make a few great decisions. Here it is. Here's decision number 3. You can choose to place trades without knowing when to sell, which can lead to large losses, missed profits, you know the drill. Or you can set up the trade the right way from the beginning so that you minimize losses and maximize gains. And so just really quick, guys, in the chat box, stops or no stops? Stops or no stops? How about this? Stops or right stops? Right? Yeah, absolutely. Stops. That's right. Yeah, and right stops, the right stop. And so I hate to ask this question, but I ask it because it's an important one, okay? And the only reason I say that is I know many of you are probably feeling right now like things are incomplete for you. Okay, but what did you just learn about your system? What did you just learn about your system? Donald says couldn't prove. Gene says wrong. Yeah, so a lot of you like the profit locker. Well, I'm not going to say that one over the air. You almost got me. I've seen some funny movies where the guy just reads the prompter. But anyway, I'm not one of those guys. Less emotional, better way to trade, can be empowered. Yeah. More potential. Yeah. I need to refine my system and take appropriate action have guts. Yeah. When I said blood is in the street, that's when the best buying opportunities occur, man. When you feel like you just want to shove money under your mattress. Okay. This is being recorded, Nick, so have no fear. Okay. Have trust. Yeah. Two systems for different times in the market. That's right. Right. So it's not that buying safe undervalued stocks isn't the way to go. That is the way to go. Unless the market creates significant opportunity where you can go bottom fishing. Then you have to change your paradigm. You have to make the shift, and that's challenging for some, and so that's why we're here today. All right, so ultimately, guys, your system determines your success. If you get nothing else out of this webinar, that's the thing that I'm trying to drill into you. It's going to be the system, because what I showed you, it's not easy to do on your own. Okay, it's just simply not. You need powerful tools, and you need a system that's precise and a system that works. Okay, and so the main thing I want you to take away from today's webinar is that you need a system to tell you precisely when to buy, what to buy, and when to sell. Should be that simple. So you're here today because you've tried one thing or another. You're probably frustrated. This market's got you tied up in knots, right? And you just feel like there's just so much missed opportunity out there, even here recently, right? And so we want more cash flow. Listen, I want you to take full advantage of every opportunity that's coming around your path right now. I want you to be confident in the investment decisions that you make, and I want you no longer worried about what's coming around the corner in retirement. Okay, we're going to fix that. And the way we're going to fix it is we're going to learn this model, right? Remember, your system determines your success. There's three main things: when to buy, what to buy, when to sell. What we really want: precise market entries, stocks with explosive upside potential, and to cut losers quickly and let winners run. Okay? And so let's recap things one last time in a more visual way. The three strategic shifts that we're learning today is we need to move from uncertainty to certainty, precision, market entries. Okay? We need to move from ordinary stocks, your FANG stocks, your Apples, your Googles, to stocks that have explosive upside potential and the ones that are right for the current situation. It changes. Okay? All right? And so you can sit there and not know when to sell, or you can know precisely when to sell them. And so hopefully the question that you're asking yourselves right now is, how can I implement this system right now and get results quickly? All right? Because another terrific buying opportunity might not be far around the corner, right? You know, we should have already nibbled here recently, but that doesn't mean that things can't get a little bit better here just a little bit further down the road in terms of really being able to make a mark with some big gains. And so I reckon you got a choice, guys. I reckon you got a choice. You can try to do it alone, and inevitably you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to continue to try to do things yourself, learning by trial and error, and it can lead to very costly mistakes at that. So, you know, what I want you to do is learn it fast. Do it fast. Use a system that's been proven to work so you can bypass years of trial and error that I had to go through even, and my clients had to go through before they met us, okay, inevitably. And so here's the thing, though. I want you to get results quickly, and so I'm going to be showing you a little roadmap here in a second. But here's Rob. Rob is a great friend of mine, actually, at this point. He lives out in Australia. Some of you are Australians out there. You might even know Rob. I don't know. But listen, his portfolio sort of unraveled in the financial crisis of 2007. He, like many of folks that I talked to over the years in financial forums and exhibits around the world, put his money with financial advisors. And you know the story here, but by mid-2008, the portfolio was down 40%, right? Well, he bottom fished with VectorVest using that little old strategy we called jailbreak earlier. He made all that back and more in just a few short months. Okay, and you can do it too. I've got a new course that I put together where I'm going to teach explicitly how to do that, how to do just that. Okay, it's called Precision Bottom Fishing for Explosive Profits. 5 weeks to learn how to generate explosive profits by nailing market bottoms with precision, realizing that there may be one very near. And so that's important. It is right around the corner. We'll talk more about it here in a second. This course is not for everyone. Before I tell you about it, I want to let you know up front, you know, it is not for everyone. I want you to be serious, okay? If you're not serious, it's not for you. It's for serious investors who are willing to put in some time to learn the system. We said system determines success, right? Your system, so you got to learn the system, all right? And I'm telling you, if you do it, I'm telling you this, if you do it, I'm going to say that one last time. I'm telling you, if you do it, you will see results, okay? And so this is a quote that has guided me my entire life since I've read it, and that was way back in high school. You know, an old, call him a friend at this point just because it's helped me so much. But Abraham Lincoln once said, if I had 6 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. It actually means a little bit more to me now than it has because I own a bunch of land. I prefer chainsaws now, but you get the point. The point is you need to be prepared. You need to know how to do things right. And so it's much more valuable the time that you spend learning how to do things right, so when the time comes to do it right, you know exactly what to do, okay? And so I've laid things out for you right here. I've got a 5-week plus a bonus week roadmap to being able to do this for yourself, okay? Why do you want to do this? You know, you got to change. Module 1 is going to be all about the secret to precision bottom fishing, which is really about the mindset, the correct mindset, okay? You have to change the way you think to be able to do this right. Some of you are realizing that for the first time from a high level, okay? But we're going to cover it in much more detail. And so you're going to be mentally prepared to follow a roadmap, an actual blueprint, a 1, 2, 3 XYZ, if you will, on how to bottom fish when this course is complete. But it's all about getting the mindset correct up front. Then, okay, we're going to move on to how to spot market bottoms with precision. We're going to look at how to use the indicators I mentioned but didn't show to pinpoint the market entries. Because let's face it, you know, it's just going to take more time than a simple webcast. We need to spend some time with one another. I need to coach you, and I need to make sure that you actually know and understand and can follow everything that I'm going to teach you, okay? And so we're going to show you how to pinpoint your market entries. Get in the moment the market blasts off and do it with precision, all right? So you'll be able to spot market bottoms on your own, recognize the blast off, and that it's happening right when you pull the trigger. Then we're going to detail some of the more powerful searches, even give you some insights into our favorites, and also even a slight bit on how to cherry pick the actual best of the best, okay? So we'll recover the 3 attributes for the big winners. We'll recover some of the best searches to use. You saw a couple of good ones today, but then we'll even dig a little deeper and show you how to really maximize things by picking the best of the best. All right, and on top of that, we're going to go into much more detail on the 5 core tactics that we covered today that make you money, okay? That'll be a big part of this course in relation to some of the prior courses that we've taught on the subject. There's going to be a lot to do about how to manage them and the tactics to really get it right. And then finally, a definitive. I love that word definitive because it means it is the answer. It means it is the answer, a definitive bottom fishing plan, a complete plan for success, an A to Z checklist that you can follow to make sure that you get it right, okay? That's going to be there. And so, listen, 5 live mastery support sessions will follow each module. So for module 1, there'll be a mastery session. Module 2, there'll be a mastery session. And this way, it's like it's a recap and then a forum where we can address your specific questions and make sure that you've learned the material, okay? Help you implement what you learn. Look at what you're doing and guide you. Can't make these sessions, even the modules, don't worry. You know, we're going to record these. And also, you know, you do have the ability to submit questions via the chat and interact and do those kinds of things. So, but again, if you can't even make the module, you know, the live webcasted version of them, we are going to archive them and put them up online in a digital format that'll even have a slight bit of coursework and things that'll go along with it, okay, to make sure that we solidify the learning. But the mastery support sessions are great. They really solidify things. We're also going to give 5 weeks access to VectorVest to anybody that is not a VectorVest subscriber now. All right, that's going to be part of the deal, which is the best tool to find and select stocks to trade, particularly as you saw with the bottom fishing campaigns, and quickly know if it's the right time to buy stocks and dramatically reduce the amount of time you spend finding them. Right, so you will get 5 weeks of access to the tool as part of the course cost. And finally, a bonus session, a 6th week for those of you that take advantage of the early offer that we're going to present momentarily, and that's going to be on early indicators of market bottoms so that you're ready for the bottom before it even gets there. Okay, that one's going to be super awesome and really worth the ticket all on its own. So the total value is $2,649. That would be the full precision bottom fishing course for explosive profits, along with the 5 mastery support sessions, the 5 weeks access to VectorVest software, and the additional bonus session, which should really have a much higher value. So here's what I'd like to do, guys. You give me 6 weeks, and I'll show you that roadmap to explosive profits, okay? I'd like to roll up my sleeves, work with you, each and every single one of you, for the next 6 weeks. There'll actually be another one of my favorite co-workers to work with. Will be joining me. His name is Jerry D'Ambrosio. Some of you that know VectorVest are probably very familiar with him, but we'll be kind of running this together. But we're going to roll up our sleeves. I'm going to work with you in these sessions, and so will he. And even if you've never had success in the market, okay, we're going to get you there. We're going to do this together. You guys have spent about an hour and a half with me today. Actually, yeah, a little over an hour. But you know, here's what I'd love. Here's what I'd love to do. If you want to join me, have me take you by the hand and show you how to get these double-digit returns. Okay. All it's going to cost today. The $2,600 has been boiled down. Had to work really hard with our marketing here, but $995. Okay, $995. This is a very special price. It's an early bird deal. It's good until midnight on Friday. Okay, then it goes up. It goes up to $1,495. Okay, so this $995 is something that you want to take advantage of now. It will go away, and it'll jump to $1,495 and then up to $1,990. Okay, and that is the lowest price, $995. Okay, so where do you go? Go to www.vectorvest.com/BF for bottom fishing. Okay, and so let me place that link into the chat for you guys. That way, it'll just link you right out to the website, and you'll be able to sign up right there. Okay, but there's the 6 weeks of sessions, the low price of $995. And let me just click on this here and move along. There will be a 100% money-back guarantee. We do offer a money-back guarantee on the course, but I want you to listen very carefully because this is a really tight refund policy, okay? If you do the work, if you come to the classes or watch the recordings, do the assignments, all the necessary coursework to learn how to get these tremendous explosive profits, you get access to the refund. If you don't do the work, you will not be eligible for the refund. You have to go through the complete course because this course builds to a crescendo, and you got to get through the end, to make sure that the learning is solidified there. All right, so the reason we have such a tight refund policy is because we only want to attract those who are incredibly excited, want to jump in, get started right away, and hit the ground running. And believe me, now is a good time to do it. So hopefully you're excited about that. So think about this, guys. Ask yourself, what will it cost you if you do nothing right now? What will it cost you? How much money will you lose? Okay, how much money will you lose? How much potential profit will you miss out on? How much time and energy will you spend trying to do this on your own? Then ask yourself, how would your life be different if you do it and it really works? Okay? And so here it is one last time, guys. So who's in? Anybody in with me? Anybody in on the course? Just go ahead and type I'm in the chat box. Type I'm in the chat box right now. Perfect. Love it. Here they come. Awesome. Love it. Welcome. Welcome on board. All right, so okay, here's what to expect, guys. For those of you that are typing I'm in right now, you should get an email Thursday. Boy, here they come. Awesome. You should get an email Thursday evening welcoming you to the course and providing some details on when the sessions will happen. Okay? Perfect. Some of you are typing, I'm going to be in it. Perfect. All right, awesome. So you're gonna, let me recap this. What to expect, okay? You're going to get an email Thursday. Should be in the evening time, most likely, welcoming you to the course and providing some details on when the sessions are going to happen. I will tell you this, first session is next Tuesday. First session is next Tuesday at 4:30. Remember, if you miss it, we're going to have videos. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Next Tuesday at 4:30 Eastern, okay? We'll also have the mastery session next Friday at 2. Okay, so those will be the first, that'll be on module 1. But don't worry, we store them in a place called Digital Chalk. We're going to give you directions on how to access that. So if you miss any of the modules, it's going to be just like if you were in the webcast. It really will, okay? And you can come to the mastery session, ask your questions then if you like, okay? All right, so remember this, though. This is the first time that we're doing this course digitally in this way. And so these things are going to be added as we go. So if you log in there the first time and you don't see a whole lot going on yet, we're going to be adding content as we deliver the course. We're going to be filming it live, okay? So don't fret, it's going to be there. And so 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, next Tuesday is the first session, right? Friday, 2 o'clock Eastern, will be the mastery session. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and open things up for questions, and we'll take a few of those. Santi says, I am pumped. I love it. I'm pumped too, man. So that's going to be awesome. Skiing in Tahoe. Come on, Frederick. Got to get your priorities in order, man. I'm just kidding. That's pretty good skiing out there. But here's the deal. You know, it'll be available again. All right. But sorry you're going to miss out on a really good course there, bud. All right. So let's see. 4:30. So they're after market hours, Santi. Good. All right. Good. He's pumped, man. I'm excited about that. All right. So any final questions, guys? Let me just kind of roll back up through the chat box, see if there's anything else in there, and see what we might be missing. Will we begin scanning for stocks right away? Lawrence says. Not right away. We're going to get the mindset right first. But I tell you, if some kind of opportunity, because the market is in the situation that it's in right now, if some kind of opportunity presents itself, I will take advantage of that. We will make sure that we work something into one of those sessions to make sure that we let you know. Okay? All right? So have no fret. Have no fret. I'm going to make sure I take good care of all of you. That's, if you know me, you know that that's going to be the case anyway. Okay? So I will do that. Price for Elite Jack is still $9.95 is what I'm been told. $9.95 is the lowest price possible on this, which is half off the actual price, okay, of $19.90. So you are, you know, essentially you're being elite, you're getting the low price. But you can get it anytime, okay? So that's that. The elite price is the $9.95. I see a few of those. Show the triangle again? Sure. Show that really quick. But one last time here, guys, VectorVest.com/BF for bottom fishing. Okay, that's where you go to go ahead. Those of you that said you're in, hopefully you're already on your way right now. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in the chat box one more time. That way, you just click the link. It takes you right to the place that you need to go to get the order in. All right, so I'm just going to go here really quick, just momentarily. Actually, it's a little further back than I thought. But here it is, right? So remember the 3 critical parts: when to buy, what to buy, when to sell. Precise market entries is what we really want in terms of when to buy. Stocks with explosive upside potential is what we really want in terms of what to buy. And cut losers quickly and let winners run is what we really want in terms of when to sell. All right. And so I will now bring things all the way back to the close and see if there's any final questions here. All right. So Alan asks, I've got a full-time job. How can I take advantage of the offer? Remember, the The sessions are being recorded, so this is something that you could actually do in the evening time. And you know, what I'll do is I'll make myself available should you have questions by, say, email, something like that. I'd be glad to try to work with you that way. Yeah, even have a quick conversation if we need to by the telly. Okay. Yeah, no problem. We'll make sure that we take care of you. Okay. So if you want to do this, if you know this is something that can change your life, I agree with you, and go ahead and do it. Pull the trigger, man. I will make sure to take care of you. Remember, 100% money back guarantee as well. Okay. So Dave asked about when the sessions are going to be offered. So again, the sessions, the modules are going to be on Tuesday, 4:30, and the mastery sessions are going to be on Fridays at 2. Okay. Modules. Tuesdays at 4:30, Fridays for the mastery sessions at 2. I think one of them falls on a holiday, so we're going to put out an exact schedule in a follow-up email for those people that subscribe or that take us up on the offer. Okay. All right. Let's see. I'm really interested. That's awesome, Santi. You're going to have a ball, man. Let's see. I mean, he's fired up. He's written me like 3-4 times now. I got to scan back quite a bit here, guys. All right, listen. Brian asked, do you need real-time or super watchdog, or will the results be better? Listen, those tools can definitely help in some, but they're not necessary. But they can help, sure. It's not part of the exact course content at this time. More on that later. Maybe we'll have a good announcement in that regard as the course goes through. But anyway, let's see. I can't comment this time. It's too bad, David. Let's see. You're welcome, Jack. Let's see. Jim asks, is this bottom fishing only, or can it be used in any market situation? This is bottom fishing only. This is making a year's worth of gains in days to weeks. Okay? A year's worth of gains in days to weeks. You're welcome, Rob. Alan asks, can we view the recordings multiple times? Yes, Alan. To let it sink in? Yes, you can. The recordings, from what I understand, will be up for about a year's time. Okay? The recordings will be up and available for about a year's time. Let's see. Alan, if you want to hit me up, you can hit me up, stevec@vectorvest.com. Okay? stevec@vectorvest.com. Profit Locker detail. Yeah, we'll get more into Profit Locker in the course, okay? With the Profit Locker, what you're really dealing with, you know, there's some math that that we employ that we don't allow anyone to be privy to, but you do set a definitive stop loss, like your max risk that you want to take by percentage, and also a target, and then the Profit Locker does all the work to accommodate the best trading opportunity from those two numbers, okay? But we have some definitive guidance on what percentages to use for bottom fishing explicitly. So that could be important. What are the mastery sessions for in addition to the Tuesday sessions? So Nalene, again, the mastery sessions are going to be, we'll recap the core module. We'll open it up to questions, and we'll also work hard with you to make sure, you know, that you're on track with absorbing the course content. So it's taken an extra hour of time just to make sure that we address any issues that you might be having with the content, so that we can help you specifically. Okay? Let's see. Are the mastery sessions recorded? Yes, I believe they will. Okay? Let's see. You're welcome. Will we have to buy additional modules to add to the program to employ the system? No, you will not, Dan. This will be a complete deal. Okay. Now, you might decide that you want to continue on with VectorVest. That would be a good choice. So you would probably want to roll into a subscription to VectorVest itself. But how to use VectorVest to do the kind of stuff that I showed here, it's all in the course. All of it. 100%. Okay. When we think about, guys, if you're stuck thinking about the 995, remember, I showed you examples where you can turn 20 grand into nearly 40 grand in 3 months. I mean, This is a walk in the park. Okay? Let's see. I've made this money in Netflix, so I'm using my profits from. All right, good. Let's see. There you go. I can see it now with all the question marks. Deborah, there's tons of things coming through, so I can't see all the questions. I saw that one because you put so many question marks behind it. I can try to go back and find it, but there's tons of stuff here. So I'm sorry if I missed some of you. I really am, because I want to be able to answer everything. All right, guys, let me see if there's one or two more. All right. Listen, look, boy, I see a whole bunch of people that are in. That is wonderful. Listen, it's been my pleasure to spend the last hour with you, and I really want to make sure that I try to get you in a situation where I can coach you up. And so I'm just going to encourage you one last time. The time is now. Bottom fishing opportunities are underway, and possibly even better ones to come. So listen, this is a course you do not want to miss. Get yourself to the website. I'm going to put the link out one last time. And we'll see you there. All right, guys. Have a good day. We'll see you later. Hopefully we'll see you in the course. All right. Till then, bye.